Hi everyone, I'm Bianca.
And I'm Rosina.
And welcome back to
Twins in Stitches. So today we have our first sewing tutorial for you all.
Yes, I'm going to run you through how to make this beautiful shirred dress. It's a super easy tutorial because the front and back panel are made the exact same way, the cutout is the exact same, and this is pretty beginner friendly. So I'll walk you through how to make this lovely garment, which is super customizable to your size as you're going to be making it, and also the shirring does give quite a bit of leeway for size differences.
Lovely, so let's get started.
Alright, so the first step to any sewing tutorial is taking your own measurements. So I personally like to draw out how I'm planning on making the dress, and I'll put this on the next slide. However, I'm going to show you just step by step how to take each measurement needed for this dress. Now, this dress is shirred, which is sort of that crinkled, kind of gathered fabric. So for every horizontal measurement, we have to times our measurement by 1.5 for the torso area. However, we leave all the vertical areas the same. But I will explain this later. So for the neck hole, we are going to, you can use the t-shirt you're wearing as reference, but I'm going to go from one neck bone, one collarbone to the other. So I'm going to go from about here to here. Yeah, and that'll be my neck hole. I'm going to measure that. That's 18 centimeters. So, looks about right. Yeah, so I'm going to go and take a note of that. And what I'm going to do after is I'm going to take my my bust measurement. So, because this is sort of the largest part of the torso area, so you need the whole torso area to be with the bust measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, wrap this round. It's kind of like doubling up on itself. But wrap this round and take this measurement. And this here is 85 centimeters. So I'm going to write that down as well. And this is going to be our width for the whole entire torso area. This, however, because we're going to make the dress in two panels, a front panel and a back panel, we're going to divide this by 2 and then times it by 1.5. And this will get the width we need for the front and then for the back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the sort of bum area circumference. And this is going to be helpful so that for the skirt part of the dress, this is the largest measurement we'll use. So I'm going to measure around here, or just the largest part. So this is about 96 centimeters. So once I've measured that one, that is that area. And this measurement we do not touch, we leave as 96 centimeters. However, we'll add a few centimeters for leeway. So I'm going to add about 5 centimeters to get to like 101 centimeters, just to make a nice comfortable skirt. And now we have to find the armholes. So the armholes, I'm going to start at the top of my shoulder and sort of wrap the tape around to the bottom here, of my armpit. About there. And make sure that's nice, not too tight. And I get about 25 centimeters. So this is the same on either side. This one, we're not touching, not timesing by 1.5. So finally, we need the total length measurement. So this is going to be from your shoulder to the very bottom of the dress. I'm making like a mini dress, a short dress, so this is a bit hard to do by yourself. You might want to get someone to help you, but you just bring it from the top of your shoulder here down to wherever you want it to stop. So I kind of want it above my knee, but not too short though. So about here. So I've got 85 centimeters. Now I would say, I'm going to write this down, when it is better to cut longer and you do need to add for hemming, so you're going to add about 5 centimeters to your final length so that you can actually fully hem it. now I've cut out both panels. I'm going to just put one aside to show you what one looks like. The exact same. It's looking very wide and long. However, I did make it quite long so that I can hem it to the exact size that I do want. So that's perfect. And yes, I've done a mark about 53 centimeters down where I want to stop the shirring. And I'll later do marks, which I'll show you later, in sort of 1 centimeter increments or a bit more for the actual shirring. So yes, I'm going to iron these and we'll head to the machine. Shirring fabric involves sewing across with an elastic, with thread in the elastic bobbin and the same colour thread of the top of the machine in horizontal lines. So you have to make sure these horizontal lines are straight. I've previously worked with checkered fabric and that is super easy to shirr on, but when it's plain like this, you have to make sure it's straight. So to do this, it's a bit tedious, but it has a better outcome. You have to mark 1 centimeter lines all the way down. So further down I have my 53 centimeter mark, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark at 2 centimeter intervals. So we're doing 2 centimeters. You can make it bigger or smaller. This is a nice medium size. So for instance, I've done from 2 down to 8 centimeters. There as well. And now I can just join it. So as you can see, I've done a line at the top and we're going to continue this all the way down for up to the 53 centimeters, which is where my desired drop waist is up to. So now I've made the marks across the whole entire dress up to the 52 centimeter point, and this is quite tedious, but it is very good to make sure they're straight. They're pretty straight, I'd say. So now we're going to head to the machine. So for the bobbin, you can't really prepare it the same way you would any other bobbin on the machine because it will really stretch the elastic and it just won't work well. So what we do is we grab the bobbin and we put the elastic around it here. I'm going to do it this way and then we just start. This is very tedious, I'll be honest. We're going to start wrapping. So again, I usually would hold it with my fingers, the thread up here with my fingers. Like up here, and start wrapping. And then I'm going to let this little bit here go at the bottom and just try to wrap and get this little bit tucked in here. So it's a bit tedious, it really is, to do it. Every time a bobbin runs out, I'm like, oh no. But you just wrap it. And you can keep wrapping, and if this is not tucked under, like mine doesn't want to, just try to put it under there. There you go, now it's hidden. Okay, so I'm just going to fully wrap that up. Like this. And do not stretch out the thread because it's just not going to give you a result. You want to just gently glide it, and this will give the best result. So I'm going to just gently be gliding it, etc. And that will be great. Just like that. So now that we've wound our bobbin, we are going to remove the bobbin holder from the machine and insert it. And we're just going to bring this thread around and out through the side here. Perfect. Now we're going to insert this into the second holder, I guess. Now my machine's already threaded, but I'll take it out. On the top, I've got my green thread, so I'm just going to grab the thread and just... Every machine has its own system, but I'm just going to wrap it around here, through, down, on top, and thread it through the needle. You need to be quite close for this. Okay, so now I've threaded this thread here. I'm going to use the dial to just pick up this bobbin thread. So we twist. Yeah, so there it is at the top here. Now what you have to remember when you sew, you always need two threads. Both the green thread and the elastic thread. Pop that back on and we are ready to work. Okay, so we've made it onto the machine. Now this video isn't going to show you how to sew. If you want one, do let me know in the comments. But it will show you how to work this particular stitch, just with the elastic it's a bit different. I mean, it's basically the same thing, but just some things to bear in mind. So I'm going to grab my fabric with the tracings. Well, the tracings with the marks on them already that we previously did. And I'm going to move the fabric back underneath the machine. And obviously here I've got this green colour that matches very nicely. I'm going to, where you see the white, I'm going to put the foot down straight away. And now I'm going to click on the pedal. Now because it's elastic, the elastic can kind of, you do not want it to come out, but because sort of the front thread is just loosely holding that in place, we always want to backstitch. So put it down. Now we're going to click on our pedal. We're going to go forward about 1 centimetre. And now I'm going to use the back pedal, which on my machine is right here. And I'm going to go back. Backstitch. Done. Now I'm going to continue going forward, following that white line. Do this nice and slowly, there's no rush. Now because it's sort of with the elastic, we kind of want to be gliding it gently. We do not want to be pulling it because it kind of is a shirr and gather with the fabric. So we're just one hand at the back, gliding it gently, the front one again, gliding it gently. So no pulling or anything, just gently gliding. Now, as we get to the end, as you can see, we're there at the end, I'm going to backstitch. So, reverse stitch bottom like I showed you before. I'm just going to go back a few like 1 centimetre or 2 centimetres. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove here. I'm going to use the dial on the side to remove the needle. And I'm going to remove and cut it. Now, as you can see, we've already got that super lovely gathered fabric already looking there. So now I'm going to go on to the next row. So now I'm going to show a bit of a closer up with the second row. So we're going to place the foot down, then we're going to do a few centimetres, back stitch, then a straight line. Now just forward. This hand's going to slightly glide, gently glide, and to be fair, both of them will do the same. And back stitch. And there you go. Oops. Got that lovely shirred fabric effect. And we're going to do that for every single row that we've drawn. So now we have our sides fully shirred. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to, on the neckline, hem it off or just sort of fold it over and sew it so that it does not continue to fray. This is very important. So flip your work around. Here, I cut off any excess kind of threads at the top. I'm going to grab my needles. So I'm going to show you closely. I'm going to grab my work and I'm going to fold it once and then fold it twice. There's a little thread here, we should cut that off first. So, cut. Perfect. So now I am going to fold it once and fold it twice. Don't worry about the top because we have to sew the front and back together. And we'll fill that out after. 1. Now we're just going to keep going across the whole entire top. I'd recommend doing it once the pieces are individual because when they're together, it's kind of a bit hard with the curve and just pinning it all together, the neckline. So now we're going to go. So again, grab it, fold it. So you fold it once, but you can still see the fraying edge on the raw edge, this is called the raw edge. So you do it one more time. And you pin. Perfect. Again. Roll over once. Roll over twice. If your frayed edges are really fraying, so you can kind of see them poking out, you can cut these a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to, again, once. Oops. And twice. Perfect. Just gonna pop that in. Same thing. And these are the pins I like to use. Just with a, yeah, I know you can use some kind of clip pins. I just personally am used to these ones. And as we get to the edge, perfect here. Now, because it's frayed, you kind of do have quite a bit of leeway to make sure it's not puckering. If you had, sorry, not frayed, as it's shirred. If you had a sort of not shirred fabric, it might pucker. So there you go. And as you can see, there might be areas, for instance, here I've got a bit of a, here it kind of pokes out, but once I put it on the machine flat, it'll be perfect. So there, I'm very happy with how that's looking. So now we're going to go and sew that on the machine. Now I'm going to sew the neckline. Now I'm going to use normal thread. I've changed the bobbin thread to the green one and same with the normal thread, so no elastic is being used anymore. So I'm just going to sew across. Here, as you can see, I've put the foot down right at the top. Here. I'm just going to sew on this outer edge here, removing the pins one at a time. Okay, so let's start. Oops, I have to move it from bobbin mode. Okay. And do be nice and gentle. Removing one pin at a time. I'd recommend going slowly because it's quite like a thin area to work on. I think I might have missed a small area there, so you just go back, nice and simple fix. Alright, so, oops, now we can see what it looks like. This nice border. So we do the exact same to the other piece.
Okay, so now I've finished my front and back piece. For this dress, they both pretty much look the same. So now I'm going to show you how we can put them together. So I'm going to pin them together. So we grab, you want both of the good sides, so the nice shirred sides, to be facing inwards. So 1 and then 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the flat on flat, and because it's shirred, you kind of have to you don't have to stretch it out, but you have to make sure the exact edges meet. So at the top, so I would recommend you start with the neckline, to be fair. So the neckline's here. What you're going to do is you're going to put a pin. And I do want to say we are not sewing the neckline closed, but that just gives a good hold and a good placement. Now we're going to do the top. So as we can see here, just by default, by the way it was shirred, one side is longer than the other. So we're just going to pin it to the lower level, which is this one here. I'm going to grab my pins and just go all the way around. And we want to do sort of that outer. What I want to show is that we're kind of unfolding it like here and pinning. We are not going to sew too near to the edge, but we do want to have a nice, we want to make sure we're kind of pinning on. We're not just pinning on you don't want to pin this to this when it's nice, when it's all bulky. You want to make sure it's nice and stretched out. And it's kind of flat, if that makes any sense. So we're going to, again, side to side together. And we're going to pin here. And now we're going to do this for the whole entire dress. So yeah, I'll meet you on the other side. Now we're just put a pin here to hold it, but we'll just pin it all the way down. And where the skirt is, we'll get to that bit and I'll show you what I do. So now I've pinned down to the waistline on this point. I'm going to show you what to do with the skirt. Now the skirt is the same thing, but we just pin, again, the outer layer. We're always sort of doing this outer layer. So we pin here. There you go. Yeah, so now I've zoomed in, I'm going to show you. Here, we want to put a pin, a very secure pin, here where the shirred meets the waist. So just about somewhere here. And when we sew, we're going to want to sew, we're going to want to leave a little bit of space. So now I'm going to work all the way down the side of the skirt. So as we can see, I've fully pinned down both sides all the way down to the skirt. So now we're going to just do a simple stitch, normal stitch on the machine, just down the edges. And I'll show you me doing this. So this is obviously inside out. And after we'll turn it the right way around. And we are stitching, even if the dress is long, because this is not how long I want it, I'm still probably going to stitch it to the bottom or near enough to the bottom, because then I can cut it and see how it is. So now I'm going to sew the dress. I just have it on the machine and I'm going to leave about 1.5 centimetre seam allowance from the edge. So let's start. And just I'll be dragging it gently and getting rid of the pins as I move along. So I finished sewing the sides. Now I accidentally forgot to leave a armhole, so I'm going to take that out now. But yeah, I forgot to say, do make sure to make armholes. This one's fine on this side. But the armholes start from the top. I need to take this area out a little bit. So it's fine to make mistakes, just take them out. And it really starts here, where you have the fabric going out. This is where you sew down from. So this whole area, I should unstitch. Before we hem the dress, it is important to, obviously the arms look fine, but as you can see, they are still have a raw edge. So There are different ways. I'm personally going to I think it's best just to fold it over like we did the neckline. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Or yeah, just like 1, 2. There. And I'm going to pin. Amazing. And I'm going to do this for both armholes. And we're just doing the same as the neck hole. I'm just going to sew here, and then what we're gonna have to do a nice zigzag stitch, and then after we'll do this here. So for now, just continue. I'm going to do the same to the other side, leave the top empty, and then we'll do the zigzag stitch after. So the second final step before we do the zigzag stitch, to just finish it all off, is to hem the dress. So to get it to the length we want. So at this point you can try it on. I would recommend trying it on instead of going with your just written measurements, because this can change. You might change what you want, and sometimes it just looks a bit different when the whole project is together. I'm going to hem mine just a few centimetres. I'm going to start by, I start at the corner to be fair. I roll it up once and once more, and this is the length I want. I think it ends up, yeah, a few centimetres. I did try it on, and now I'm just going to continue this throughout the whole dress. Now this line does act as a good point. You can obviously measure this, and once I've pinned it, I will check that it's all fine. And yes, you can also do a chalk line. That is super useful. Probably should do that, but we'll try it this way. If not, we can do chalk line. No harm. So let's see. Flatten it. Perfect. And you do want to make sure it doesn't pucker. And also you do want to stitch it right at the top, just because a lot of the time the frayed edge is just barely at the top. So yes. So far I'm going to check that it's looking pretty equal. And it is. It's looking good. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to continue. Okay, so final one here. Let me show you. And once I've put this here, I'm going to grab it and make sure it's all good. Perfect, and it looks great. So now I'm going to go. So the last stage of this project is to sort of clean up any raw edges. Now, I want to say that these edges here, they would usually be raw, but because it's so nicely tucked away, I'm not going to touch them. If this causes a problem in the future, anything comes undone, then I will go and zigzag stitch it. But it's good for now. I have to show you these edges here are fraying, so I'll show you how to zigzag stitch these. I'm going to do a zigzag on the top, and after that I'll show you, well, to be fair, yeah, we'll work out the shoulder pads with zigzag, and we'll see when we get to those. The hem is lovely, really nice. Now we just have to do these, so I'll show you how to do these. Now for the zigzag stitch, change your stitch on the machine to something such as, on mine it's the number 13 I usually use, and this one here makes a zigzag stitch. So I'm going to show you what a zigzag stitch does. Now this is the equivalent, well not equivalent, but it's like using a serger. I don't have one, but this does the trick. So what it's going to do, it's going to create a sort of zigzag pattern, which is going to stop it from fraying. So you can also increase, you should increase the stitch length as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the foot down here in this corner. We can see this edge is fraying. Now on the zigzag stitch, it's on 13 on mine, and increase stitch length. So I'm gently going to press the pedal and push this along. As we can see, what's happening is the thread is going to the left and to the right, to the left and to the right, and this makes a kind of lock, a zigzag. I'm just for this, you have to make sure that the front and back piece are the same length, exactly. This zigzaggy stitch here, and I'm going to do it a couple more times to really lock it in place. Yes, we cut away any loose ends, and then that top area is not going to come undone because all the stitches, all the frayed ends are covered by this interlocking stitch. Alright, and the dress is done. It's so pretty, I love it. So now you know how to make this really lovely shirred dress. It's super easy and I hope you were able to follow along. Yes, so please do subscribe. We have a whole lot of other sewing videos that will be coming out soon. Other summer dresses, summer pieces, so subscribe so you don't miss out. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!